This is my super entry-level student beginner trumpet. And these are clips of me traveling by land, traveling by water, and even traveling by air to a bunch of different music stores, trying a ton of different trumpets to try and get this thing replaced. See, this is the one and only trumpet I've ever had, and while it served me well while I've had it, signs have started to show up that it's probably time for an upgrade. And yeah, I could have just went online and purchased another trumpet or went to the closest music store that I live to and buy another trumpet from there, but I decided not to do that. I went on a journey, the longest journey I've ever gone to get another instrument. I totaled up the distance afterward round trip and it added up to be over 3,000 miles. But without further ado, let me take you back to where this whole journey started. All right, so I've arrived here at the first of these music shops that I'm gonna be going to in this video. And whether you're new to playing an instrument or you've been playing an instrument for a while, testing out an instrument first is something I highly recommend. Everybody's different, every instrument's different, and you never know exactly what pairing will work really well. The last thing you want to do is spend money on an instrument just to find out it doesn't really serve you the way it's supposed to. And full disclaimer, I do currently teach music lessons out of one of these shops, but I promise I'm going to be keeping the reviews of these trumpets at all these shops I go to as objective as possible. They are definitely not paying me to make this video. Okay, so I gotta explain something real quick. I've never done a video quite this big before where I've gone to a bunch of different locations and tried out a bunch of instruments. And for whatever weird reason, the paranoia in me said that if I mentioned the names of these places, I'd get in trouble. I don't know where I got that thought from. At the point of making this video, I'm not even monetized yet, so it's not like I can get in trouble in that sort of sense. So subscribe if you're not already so I can get monetized. But yeah, throughout the video, you'll hear me use the terms local shop, not so local shop, and really not so local shop to describe the names of these places. But I decided, forget that. So in the end of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and reveal the names of these shops that I visited. Because for all these locations, the shops were great, the instrument selection was great, the staff was nice and friendly, helpful, and knowledgeable. And if you're in the market for a new trumpet or any instrument of any sort, and you live close to one of these places, I want you to be able to go there too and see what they got. Oh, and don't worry, I'm not gonna show you every single trumpet I tried because there were a lot of them. I'm just gonna show you the highlights at each of the places that I went to. Now let's go ahead in and test out some of these trumpets that they have. While I'm in there doing so, I'm gonna go ahead and explain my little system of how I'm gonna go ahead and rank these trumpets and how I'll ultimately end up deciding which one's gonna work for me. Okay, here's the first of the trumpets I'm gonna be testing. It's a silver trumpet, so that's cool, it's fancy. Well, here's how I'm gonna go about the testing process of these trumpets. I'm gonna go over some kind of like basic warm-ups, a few scales, some long tones, and I'm gonna play two pieces or practice going through two pieces that I have been playing a while on my current trumpet, but has kind of proven to be a bit of a struggle in some cases. And real quick also before I get started, before you music teachers and brass music nerds come at me, I'm using the same mouthpiece that I do for my current trumpet. So that way I know any difference I feel in playing will be because of the trumpets that I'm testing and not because of the mouthpiece. Not bad, I like it. Honestly, not as different as maybe I was wanting it to feel, but it is definitely an upgrade from my current trumpet, so I will keep that in mind. Let's move on to the next one. Not bad. Definitely liked it a little bit better than the BNS, that's for sure. I made a mistake. That first trumpet I tried was actually a Blessing. 1460S, I believe, was the model name. This one's the BNS. You ever like have trouble playing something you've always played because you're on a different instrument? Like there's a level of familiarity that just isn't there. And it's not the instrument's fault and not necessarily your fault. The unfamiliarity just causes stuff to happen. I think I'm experiencing that a little bit. So that first stop I went to was pretty good, and those trumpets played well, a lot better than the one that I currently had. Oh, and that comment I made about my playing feeling off just because it's a new trumpet, more on that later. I'm gonna bring on a couple of my trumpet playing musician friends who have a lot more insight and experience with this and who can explain it a lot better. But for now, it's time for the second leg of this journey. I had a couple questions about your store. I was seeing online as I was looking through some instruments, I was seeing that it's by appointment only. Just calling to confirm that.
That is correct, yes. But we are happy to see you. I mean, don't be shy about making an appointment.
So yeah, you heard that right. Unlike the first music shop that I visited where you can just kind of walk in and play instruments, on this one you kind of had to reserve a time slot to test out the instruments you had. Some may not like that, but for me, I thought that was kind of cool. It gives it a little bit more of a premium feel, if you know what I mean. But before I knew it, I'd locked in the trumpets I wanted to try and had my appointment booked.
And we've got you confirmed, so you are in Monday at noon for those trumpets.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, appointment confirmed. Let's go.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you.
One way or round trip?
One way. Wait, you can buy a round trip now?
I've always been able to.
What? Really? Okay.
I'm the only person that ever tells anybody.
Thank you.
Lane 5.
Lane
Have a
5.
blessed day.
Thank you. You the same. Appreciate it. So, for my second music shop that I'm going to be going to in this video, I'm going to be taking a ferry to get there. Now, depending on where you live in the country or the world, it's become apparent to me that some of you may not know what a ferry is, or at least have never had the chance to really experience one. So I figured I could take a quick second to give you a rundown. So basically, a ferry is a large boat. A very large boat. Large enough to drive your car onto, and it fits quite a bit too. Above the parking level, there's a place inside with plenty of seating. Big, wide windows to view the scenery, and even has a little food court for a hot meal and some snacks. And if you want to go back out, there's actually a deck above that level with even more seating. Space to walk around, or just stand on the side to enjoy the sights and feel the wind brush by. But yeah, ferries aren't just mode of transportation for me. Every time I go on one, it feels like a whole experience. All right. I drove off of the ferry now, and I've arrived here at the second location. So as I mentioned before, this one's by appointment only. Probably not going to do a whole lot of talking. Probably just going to go in, record the footage so you can hear and see what it's like me playing it, and then collect my thoughts afterward and give you my reviews.
Hey there.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right.
You for an appointment?
I am, yes. That's our 12 o'clock appointment. So.
For trumpets?
Yes.
Awesome.
This is a nice little room you got here.
Yeah. They're fairly new. We just got these back in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're nice. All right, starting this off with the Yamaha. I'm gonna move on now, but that one, Moving on to the Bach now.
How are you doing so far?
Good, good. So far I've tried the Yamaha. I'm on to the Bach now. They both feel really, really, really good. The Bach, I think, feels a little bit better. Not because the Yamaha's bad, but just like, I don't know. It's just really, 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 really easy to like get the notes through and play, especially in the slightly, upper register where I used to struggle. It's just so easy to get through it. I was like, wow, it feels great.
Well, I have to say between the two, especially as far as quality wise, the Yamaha is better. That Yamaha design, that was what was the Yamaha Pro model like back in the 80s.
Okay.
So that horn is basically what you got as a Pro model in the 80s, but it became the intermediate. This one is a true intermediate.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just a little bit better than a student model, and they have been more consistent than the student models that are lower, but it's not quite the same. It is a jump up in quality between that one and this one.
Wow, interesting. So the intermediate model was the one that was feeling a little bit better for me than what was considered the entry-level Pro model for the Yamaha. That's so interesting. That just goes to show you that definitely actually try out instruments, see how it feels, because if you just go based off of the standard Pro model is supposed to be better, intermediate is supposed to be worse, and so on and so forth, on paper it makes sense, but if you go in and actually try them and play them, who knows what you'll actually feel, what you'll actually experience, how the playing will actually go for you. So it's kind of why I'm making this video. I want to try as many trumpets as I can, travel as far as I can, try as many trumpets as I can, and see how they all feel so I can nail down this upgrade that I need. The last couple of trumpets I tested were Jupiter XO models, and while they were both fantastic, the Yamaha and the Bach left the largest impression on me. Alright, so I just got done testing trumpets at the not-so-local shop, and man, the experience was great. The staff was really nice, really friendly, really helpful. They really knew what they were talking about when it came to these instruments. And it gave me a lot to think about in regards to what I should look out for, kind of what I want to be feeling when it comes to this upgrade that I'm looking for. A lot of the songs that I had struggled with playing on my current trumpet, it was just an absolute breeze with these trumpets. It just, I don't know, it unlocked a whole new level of playing that I can get to with an upgraded trumpet. I almost wish there wasn't another shop to go to because it would be kind of easy to make a decision. I'm excited for that trip, and I'm excited to test those trumpets too, so yeah, I'm gonna think about these trumpets I tested, narrow down my top picks, and get ready for the really not so local shop to go to.
For left behind item, thank you.
We made it. All right. So today is the day that we're finally gonna get to the very not so local music shop. I did some looking online to see what kind of trumpets they had in inventory, and I made a list of the ones that I'm really excited to go check out there. But first, I want to do a demonstration using these note cards to further explain something. See, I've been using this term beginner, entry-level, intermediate, professional when referring to trumpets. But I thought I'd do a demonstration with these note cards to give you some further context as to why exactly that's important. The way I chose to do it is by comparing the journey of a musician to your journey when playing an RPG video game. Don't worry, I'm gonna explain why there's a question mark at the end of the word end. It'll make sense. So when you start playing an RPG video game, you're gonna start with the tutorial and intro to the game in general and its mechanics, and also kind of serves as the setup for the plot and the story of the game. Now, as you get toward the middle of the game, the plot thickens a little bit. You kind of have a developed strategy for all the things that you learned during the tutorials, and you start to run into some challenges that call for upgrades from the current gear or whatever you had in the beginning. Now finally, when you get to the end, you see the combination of all the skills and abilities that you've learned throughout your journey of the game. There in the game, you'll also find the hardest enemies and the hardest bosses to defeat. And the reason I had a question mark at the end of the word end is because usually after you finish a game, there was a bunch of side quests and stuff. You could choose to go for 100% if you wanted to. So while it's the end of the story, it's not the end of your personal journey. All right, now here's the tie-in to music and trumpets. In the beginning of your musicianship journey, you get introduced to instruments or pick an instrument that you really want to play. As you learn that instrument, you learn basic techniques and basic music theory so that you can use that instrument to apply to. As you then advance in your musical journey, or what you could call the middle, you get into more complex music theory, more refined techniques that you have to learn and adapt to, and you kind of get introduced to a wide variety of music styles that there are. And finally, the end/question mark. This area you'll have a developed and varied skill set. And with that variety and enhanced skill set you'll have access to higher level performances and projects to get involved in. You could really go anywhere you want from there. Now, what does any of this have to do with this trumpet journey I've been on? Well, I'm not any self-proclaimed professional. I'm definitely not a beginner either. Here's the issue. The trumpet that I currently have is one that's designed for people in this area. So you might be thinking, what exactly makes an instrument for someone in the beginning stages, for someone in the middle or intermediate stages, and someone who's at the end stage or professional level? Well, later in this video, I have some friends of mine who are gonna help give some insight as to how exactly instruments are specifically made for people in each of those stages. But for now, we're gonna head to the really not so local music shop. There's a doorbell.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, yourself?
Good, good. Follow me. I have a few things set up for you in the back. Can I get you a glass of water or anything like that?
A glass of water would be great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll shut this door, and then I'll be back with some water in a bit.
All right. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Look at this room. Those are the trumpets I'm gonna try. Choosing my top picks from this shop was by far my hardest decision yet, but it had to be done if I finally wanted this new trumpet. After everything I played so far, there was so much to consider. But nevertheless, even though there was a lot of trumpets there and a lot to decide from, I did in fact get my choices narrowed down. And well, here's the highlight reel.
How's it going?
Going good.
Good.
You feel really nice.
I was like, man, he looks so familiar. And then it clicked. I was like, so I did. I looked at it. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen your YouTube videos.
Oh, you.
A few. Well, you look at enough trumpet stuff online or other things, the algorithm starts to give you everything instrument
That's true.
related. So I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Guilty as charged.
No, cool. It was very cool.
Manchester Brass Professional B-flat trumpet. All right, I'm done testing the trumpets at this location, and man, they had a lot of them, as you saw. I've narrowed it down to the top 3 from this location, and I think I know which one I'm leaning towards, though. So, yeah, I got some thinking to do.
My name is Anastasia and Allen. Thank you, Israel, for having me. I was so excited when you contacted me. Yeah, I've been playing trumpet since I was in 5th grade. Probably 18 years now that I've been playing.
My name's Alan Valers. I was a professional educator for 41 years, retired trumpet player, among other instruments. And thanks for inviting me, Israel.
Yeah, thank you. What are some key differences that you know about or have noticed when it comes to different levels of trumpet, like student models, intermediate levels, and like professional models?
The beginner instruments mostly are to teach them how to push the air, how to breathe, and push the tone through the trumpet, as well as their fingering positions.
Beginning instruments are made well, to begin with.
Yeah.
But they're also, good beginning instruments are also tanks. You can drop them, and that's the important thing. This valve slide right here, the second valve slide, 90% of the time kids lay them down this way and they bend them. And on a good trumpet, this will bend quite easily. A student trumpeter won't.
Beginner instruments tend to be made out of more durable material, and more professional instruments tend to be made out of more reverberative material so that the tone really sings when it comes out of the instrument.
The response is a little bit slower on them because the material's a little bit thicker. The intonation, when you start to fill them up with volume, the intonation gets a little crazy.
Beginners are not so concerned about the intricacies of tone. They're more so trying to get just make the tone, right? There are some trumpets out there that I believe are not really worth it when it comes to learning on them. They can actually cause more frustrations if you don't get the right beginner instrument. They can actually cause too much frustration in the beginning and actually cause a student to want to quit. A student has to be careful when choosing that beginner instrument, that they're getting a good quality beginner instrument, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's expensive, but it does mean they have to discern if what they're getting is, too cheap to function, basically.
Intermediate trumpets are made better. The first professional trumpet I bought was a King Silver Flare, and people like Harry James were playing them, Dizzy Gillespie were playing them, and they were considered professional trumpets. Today, they consider them intermediate trumpets.
Oh.
And I think it has something to do with the response. This is a trumpet that I had made in 1978 by a guy named Dominic Colicchio. From the bell to this bell crook is just one piece. On a lot of beginning instruments, the bell, you can actually see a line going around it. Shows that the bell has been put on. When you're playing the instrument's actually vibrating all the way to the end, and you lose some vibration.
Okay, when there's a separate piece like that.
On a beginning trumpet, you're going to have braces everywhere so they don't fall apart.
Yeah.
And on a professional trumpet, you're going to have less braces.
It's weird because you'd almost think with a lot of traditional, just items or things you'd buy, you think the more expensive it is, the more durable or the more it would last. But I guess the things that make more professional trumpets sound better also make them more delicate.
It's been a while since I've searched for a trumpet. I've been settled on my trumpet for quite some time.
What is it specifically you're feeling about this trumpet that made you go, okay, this is it. This is the one I want to sit on for a while?
For me, it's I don't want to face any resistance in my tone. So when I'm pushing the air through a trumpet, I don't want to feel any of that pressure coming back at me. I want that air to really just go forward, because trumpet players play with such compressed air that you don't want it to ever, you don't ever want to feel like that air is coming back and hitting you in the face.
But you were explaining about the whole resistance and stuff, and like wanting to feel the air go through the trumpet and like feeling all that back pressure and stuff. Like I'm definitely feeling like I would just be testing all these other trumpets, and that just like was not a thing at all. Usually when I'm playing and stuff, and something's maybe not going so well, or I kind of plateaued on a certain my ability or something, I usually think it's user error. But that was one of the few times where like I tested a new trumpet. I was like, okay, hold on, this is way different.
After a lot of thinking, after a lot of playing, and after a lot of traveling, I finally came to a decision. And it's here. But before we get this thing unboxed, I want to give a quick shout out to the music shops that I went to. The first location that I went to was a place called Ted Brown Music, and they have a few different branches in Washington State. The second shop that I went to was a place called the Mighty Quinn Brass Winds, and it's located in Redmond, Washington. And last but not least, the third location that I went to was called Austin Custom Brass, and it's located in Kansas City, Missouri. Once again, the experience in all those shops was great. They have great instruments, and they have great, nice, friendly, knowledgeable staff. I highly recommend a visit to any or all of them if you're looking for a new instrument. Well, okay, maybe not all of them. I went a little crazy on this video. But you get the point. Let's get this thing unboxed. Ho ho. Well, in case it may not have been obvious already, the location I got my instrument from was Austin Custom Brass in Kansas City. The trumpet that I chose to go with was the Brass Pyre Unicorn 900H. It has a very cool design. It feels really nice. And of course, more importantly than anything, it plays amazing.